What's up, everybody? Tiger Joker here, and this is Purple and Gold Talk with me, Tiger Joker. So I want to take you back. It is August 30th, 2025. LSU just beat Clemson in Clemson, 17-10. LSU football is at a high right now. Now, if you would have told me that day, that on March 26, 2026, Lane Kiffin would be at LSU practice facility leading the LSU football team into the 2026 season, I couldn't believe it. We went into last season thinking that it was our year, just like we do every year. And now, half a year later, things have changed for the better. You brought in one of the best coaches in college football, the best offensive mind in college football, by my opinion. But that's not the big news of today. If you would have also told me that day that the LSU basketball team would have a new coach, not only a new coach, but a familiar face, Will Wade. And if you haven't heard the news today, in the words of Will Wade, are you living under a rock? Because the big news out of LSU today, LSU basketball and Matt McMahon have parted ways, and Will Wade has agreed to become the LSU basketball head coach, signing a 7-year contract to return to Baton Rouge. So that's how today's been. Such a high for LSU basketball. The return to the greatness of when Will Wade was here. At LSU, Will Wade went 105-51 in his 5 years. SEC record of 55-33. His second season here, he went 15-2 in the SEC. Won the league, number 1 seed in the SEC tournament. That year, LSU went to the Sweet 16. Will Wade made the postseason 3 of the 4 years he was here. Would have been 4 of the 5 years he was here, except for COVID. And a statement released by Will Wade today to the NC State fan base. He said that it was a tough decision, but coming home to Louisiana is personal. In my opinion, I think he wants to finish what he started. And if you've been following along, especially with Zach Nunez of Go Deep Dive, you were well informed that the steps for this to happen have just been piling up. It started with the firing of Brian Kelly. Governor Landry went on record talking bad about Scott Woodward and the hires he made. Scott Woodward gets fired. In steps in new LSU president, Dr. Roos, who many of you know was at McNeese. And where did Will Wade go for his next coaching stop after he was fired from LSU? McNeese. So, like I said, the stepping stones for this process have been ongoing for a very long time. In his first comments to the media today at the airport, Will Wade was asked a question and basically said that it wouldn't be very appropriate for him to answer questions at this time, wouldn't want to make anyone mad. And he also said that he will try to follow the rules better this time. And if everybody knows why was Will Wade fired, for one strong-ass offer to Javonte Smart. So, the general is back. Time to boot up. Get excited for LSU basketball again. Now, back to Kiffin. Kiffin is leading the Tigers on the field, spring practice. Big surprise, out of spring practice, Sam Levitt. It's been talked about that Sam Levitt would miss all of spring with a Liz Frank injury, and didn't know how much practice he would get. Well, in individual drills, seen through multiple reporters and other things, Sam Levitt is on the field, making throws, moving in the pocket. Things that we didn't think we were going to see. Now, he's not doing any 11-on-11, but he is doing individual work. And in the 11-on-11, Landon Clark is getting first-team reps. Big things coming for the Tigers. One big surprise on the defense, as noted today, was two true freshmen working with the ones on the defensive line, Richard Anderson and Deuce Geralds. Still some players out, not in full spring practice yet, but it's also a very important thing that you have two true freshmen on campus for spring practice and getting runs with the first team. Will that stick? Probably not. Both of them are going to see lots of action this coming season. So seeing them on the field getting action is not a surprise. Just getting the starts with the ones. But that's spring football. Another big thing coming up this week, Lady Tigers Hoops. Lady Tigers Hoops are in action Friday night at 9 p.m. Sweet 16 against familiar face in Duke. After the first two rounds, LSU 250-point plus wins in the first round and the second round. Not much competition. Now competition steps up. And that is Duke, a team that LSU traveled to in December and played the women's Duke team in Cameron Indoor and beat them 93-77. At the time, Duke wasn't playing well, so the win wasn't, as much of a popular win as it should have been. Since that game, since LSU beat Duke in Cameron Indoor, Duke has went 23-2 since that day. So now that win is looking a lot more impressive. In the second round, LSU scored 100 points for the 16th time this year, setting a new Division I record that was held by Long Beach since 1986. Very impressive stat there. LSU will be going for their fourth Elite Eight trip and longer. Again, they'll be playing Friday night at 9 o'clock. I, my personal self, will have that and the LSU baseball game on. LSU baseball on the big screen. Lady Tigers on the smaller screen but still supporting. And I recommend you do as well. Give these ladies the support and the cheering that they deserve. All right, so now we move to baseball. The Tigers got back on the winning side of things Tuesday night against Louisiana Tech, 15-5. I know a lot of people say it's Louisiana Tech, midweek game, no big deal. The way the Tigers have been playing, every win is a big deal right now. And to do it the way they did it Tuesday night gives hopes that this thing can turn around. The game started out first inning, giving up 2 runs. And I'm sure a lot of fans are already saying, here we go again. 2 runs in the first inning on some bad throws, errors, stuff like that. Typical things that this LSU team has been doing recently in their struggles. We get to the bottom of the first, and this is where things start to look up. So like I said, you had given up 2 runs in the first. Bottom of the first, you get 2 on, 2 out. And steps to the box, John Pearson, who's been playing a major role since the Sunday in the Vandy series. Jay Johnson said that he put him in for a spark, and he hasn't been able to take him out the lineup. So, bottom of the first, 2 outs, 2 on. John Pearson comes through with a big 2 RBI single to tie the game up, 2-2. Go to the second. LSU doesn't giving up any runs. Go to the bottom of the second, and Jake Brown comes through. 2 out, 2 RBI single. So in the first and the second inning, you've done things that have been not easy this season. 2 out, 2 RBI singles. Hitting with runners on base. That's a thing that this team struggled with a lot. So hopefully it is signs of things to come. So at this point, it's 4-2. Brown advances to second on a ball in the dirt. Great read by Jake Brown. It's been Jake Brown has done amazing things this year at the plate, in the field. But one of the most underrated things about Jake Brown is his base running. He takes the next step. He takes the easy base. He takes the ball in the dirt and moves up a base, gets himself into scoring position. Them little things was what make Jake Brown such a great player. So he moves up on the ball in the dirt. Then he scores on a ground ball that is an error by Louisiana Tech, by Cerner, scoring Jake Brown after moving up on a ball in the dirt. Then you get a walk with the bases loaded for a run, and a wild pitch for bases loaded for a run, which will make the score after 2, 7-2. So things are already looking better for the Tigers at this point. 5th inning, big moment. After getting the day off Saturday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday series, get confused. After getting the day off Saturday, after going 0-for-4 Friday night with 4 strikeouts, Zach York comes to the plate in the 5th inning of Tuesday night's game and hits an absolute missile. No doubt, home run. Looked good, swing looked good, just like we seen in the beginning of the season for Zach. Again, later on in the 5th inning, 2 outs, runner on base. Derek Curiel hits one to the wall. RBI double with 2 outs. So here we go again. Tigers scoring with 2 outs and runners on. Tigers lead 9-2. Tech would go on to score 1 in the 6th and 2 in the 8th, bringing us to the bottom of the 8th with the score 9-5 Tigers. Looking at like it's going to be another close win on a Tuesday night. And the bats erupt in the 8th for 6 runs. Highlighted by Zach York again. 3-run homer. Another no-doubter. When he hits them, they're no-doubters. So he really gets a hold of them. He struggled for like a good while now. I think it was said on the telecast that he went a full month without hitting a home run. But Tuesday night, he hits 2 of them. Ended the night 2 for 4, 4 RBIs. And as always, at first base, playing his usual great defense. A very underrated thing about Zach York is his defense. A lot of people get on him because he's a bigger guy. His errors, throwing the ball. The man saves so many runs at first base. Digging balls out the dirt, high throws, things like that. Is he Trey Morgan? No, he's not. I don't think we'll ever see another defensive first baseman like Trey Morgan. But Zach York can hold his own at first base. And he's doing a great job. So, again, 3-run homer. Makes it 9-12. Again, steps to the plate. Omar Cerner. 2 out, 2 RBI single. It's been a common trend for Tuesday night's game. 2 out RBIs. Cerner's at first base. It is a 14-5 game. Tigers looking for the 10-run rule. Derek Curiel comes up, hits one to dead center. Ball bounces off the wall. Quick relay home. And Omar Cerner makes one of the best slides I've seen in a long time. Swim move slide, gets his arm around, touches the plate. Tigers win 15-5. So Tigers scored 15 runs on 15 hits. 5 Tigers with multiple hits. 5 Tigers with multiple RBIs. You scored 11 runs with 2 outs. So, again, that is something that has been plaguing this Tigers team all season. 2-out hits. Putting hits together to score runs. Yeah, so we hit the long ball. But putting constant hit together to score runs, or hitting with runners in scoring position. So before Tuesday's game, the Tigers had scored 204 runs on the season. The Tigers have also left 207 people on base. That's not a winning combination. Tuesday night, much better job of getting the job done. You had 9 pitchers pitch Tuesday night. Did walk 7, struck out 11. Only 2 pitchers pitched more than an inning, so it was more of a bullpen game. You had Ethan Plog through 2 innings and Zion Theopolis through 2 innings. Both of them look good. So now we move to Kentucky for the weekend series at the Box. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. One big change for the weekend with the Cooper Moore injury. William Schmidt will now move into the Saturday role. So, Casey Evans Friday night, William Schmidt on Saturday, and Sunday is to be announced. My choice for Sunday would be Zach Cowan, if he's not needed in game 1 or 2. If there's a chance to win game 1 or game 2, Zach Cowan's needed to do that, put him in. You go to the next best option for Sunday at that point. Others that could possibly get the start, you got Cooper Williams, Jaden Newt, and a dark horse, Gavin Guidry. Again, it all comes down to who's used on Friday and Saturday. If you can win Friday and Saturday and go into Sunday 2-0 with a bullpen game, you feel a lot better. Some lineup notes. Omar Sarna's not coming out the lineup. He's either going to be catching or he's going to be DHing. John Pearson doesn't look like he's coming out the lineup. Again, Jace Johnson said that he put him in on Sunday for a spark for this team, and he hasn't come out since, and he's produced. Jay Johnson said today that Trent Carraway right now is the best defensive option at second base. So I wouldn't expect Carraway to come out the lineup. One question I do have with the Cooper Moore injury is your weekends were Beatty catching on Friday with Evans, Cerna catching on Saturday with Moore, and then Beatty catching on Sunday with Schmidt. Now with Schmidt moving up to Saturday, how does that change your catching rotation? Does Beatty catch Friday and Saturday and Cerna catch on Sunday? Or do Jay Johnson switch it up and let Cerna catch on Saturday with Schmidt? Or does Cerna catch Friday night? The way Cerna's been hitting the ball, he's not coming out the lineup. So Jay has to decide what option he wants. Does he want Beatty catching, Cerna DHing? Or does he want Cerna catching and maybe a lefty DH? That's things to watch for this coming weekend. Now, Kentucky, always scrappy team. Great coaching. Nick Mangione is a fantastic coach. Him and Jay Johnson are very close. I think I've seen Jay Johnson basically call him a friend. And for Jay Johnson to say that, he has to respect the man very much. Kentucky's going to hit the ball. Kentucky's going to bunt. Kentucky's going to steal bases. It's what they do. They've been doing it for years, and it's not going to stop. So this weekend, you're going to need solid defensive play. Kentucky's going to put the pressure on. Kentucky is going to take pitches. Kentucky is going to sacrifice bunt. So big priority for the Tigers this weekend. Eliminate the free passes, solid defense. And one big thing is you're going to need solid defense behind the plate. Kentucky's going to steal. On the season, Kentucky is batting .294 as a team. Kentucky has two players with 4 sack bunts on the season. Like I said, Kentucky's going to get runners on. Kentucky's going to bunt runners over. Kentucky's going to steal bases. Kentucky has 69 stolen bases on the year. And compare that to LSU. LSU has 24. So, different game than LSU's used to playing. LSU's thing is get a runner on, hit him over, hit the home run. Kentucky, get a runner on, move him over, do the things to get the runs you need. Kentucky pitching, they're going to go Friday night, Jackson Jelkin. He's 5-0 with a 2.94 ERA. He has 37 Ks in 33 innings. He's been good all year. On Saturday, Nate Harris. He's 3-1 with a 4.97 ERA. He has 28 Ks in 25 innings on the year. And then on Sunday, they're going to go with Ben Cleaver, who's 1-1 with a 2.45 ERA. He has 24 Ks in 18 innings, but he also has 18 free passes. So if you can be patient, work the count, draw walks, play Jay Johnson baseball. Like I said, Jackson Jelkin has been their ace all year. He is solid. Nate Harris and Ben Cleaver both had a not subpar performance last Sunday and Saturday. Saturday and Sunday. So they're going to pitch well. You have to be patient. You have to have timely hitting. I do predict LSU to win the series. I think Tuesday's win and the way you did it was a big stepping stone in the right direction. You did some things that you haven't done all year. 2-out hits, hitting with runners in scoring position, things like that. So if the Tigers can continue that, I think that they get their first SEC series win this weekend. And going into this weekend, the Tigers are 2-4 in the SEC. And everybody is like, oh my God, we're not doing good. We're horrible. But if you look at the standings, the team in first place is 4-2. So 2 games out of first place. It's not too late. This team has the talent to turn it around. The question is, can they and will they? So that's a preview of the series for the weekend. So this weekend we have LSU baseball, Friday night, 7 o'clock, Saturday, 2 o'clock, and Sunday at 12. Myself, I will be there Friday and Saturday for sure, possibly Sunday. If you see me, say hello, talk with me, whatever. And then Friday night, we have LSU basketball, women, Sweet 16 against Duke at 9 o'clock. Give these athletes the support they deserve. Show them why they came to LSU. Everybody's going to say, oh, the money. No, they came to LSU for the passion of a program, both baseball and basketball. LSU's the powerhouse for a reason. 8-time national champion. LSU's women, since Kim Mulkey has been there, have been to the Elite 8 3 years, going for number 4. I'd like to give a big shout out to some special people that have inspired me to be able to do this. You have Paul Jarrett with Walk It Off Podcast. If you're not following Paul or Walk It Off Podcast, I recommend you do. Every game, before the start of the game, Paul will put a video out with Click to Pick. You pick who you predict is going to hit the first home run of the game. Another great thing about that is Paul is providing prizes for the winners out of his own pocket. So support him and get your predictions in. Another shout out goes to David Bailliot and Zach Nunez of Go Deep Dive. They do an amazing job of breaking down the game. David in the press box at every game, and usually after every game they do a recap of the full breakdown of the game. Also, Zach Nunez with the Will Wade coverage. So not just baseball, all LSU sports. Another shout out goes to AP with Timeout and Tangents. He has all your LSU football, Saints football, LSU basketball, LSU baseball, all things LSU. Another great follow. Today, AP was on podcast with Jake Crane. So If you know who that is, you know that's a big-time podcast. So go give AP a follow. Another one is Justin Babin Jr. with Babin on the Bayou. Another great information. Everything LSU. Tigers baseball, Tigers football, Tigers basketball. Hello, like I said, I'm Tiger Joker, and this is Purple and Gold Talk. You can follow me on X at TigerJoker84 or at Purple Gold Talk 1. If you want to leave a comment, like, share, it's much appreciated. The more I can get out there, the more I can do this in the future. I am making things happen and kind of setting up a podcast room to be able to do this more frequent. I have young kids, so getting to do this in my house on a regular basis, it's been kind of hard. But once I set up this room and have a space where I can do it, shows could be coming out more frequent. So what we got to look forward to: LSU baseball, go win a series, get back into the SEC race. Lady Tigers, Sweet 16 win. Boot up, the general has returned, and Kiffin doing special things on the field. So that's gonna be it for me. Again, Tiger Joker. I look forward to talking to you more. Like I said, if you don't mind, give me a like, give me a share. Let's get this out there. And as always, go Tigers. Have a good night.